Okay, we are live. 30 seconds in. I'm going to go ahead and say hello. People. People. We're live, people. Stand back. Nothing to see here, people. Keep on moving here, people. Nothing to see here, people. It doesn't look like the chat's loading, so I'm going to go ahead and reload the chat. This happens from time to time. I got my eye on the grow there, and it's a lot of alarms going off outside. There's a little bit of wind, but there might be some gusts that are causing that. Yeah, there is an issue here with the chat not loading. I wonder what's going on. Let's click the reload button. Huh. Let's see if we can get some chat going. Still not loading. Let's try again. Huh. This is weird. It's almost like the chat server's down. Oh, there it goes. It's just a connection issue on the old browser. Close the browser window, open up a brand new browser window, and it connects. You know, because there's some re-engineer over there at Chrome, at Google Chrome, Google, who doesn't understand that when something gets disconnected, it should refresh the IP. And there should be a little line of code in there. Oh, we got disconnected. Refresh the IP as soon as it comes back online. You know, but re-engineers, right? The Church of the Lord of Jesus Christ has arrived. Honorary Prophetess Gussie. Hi, Gussie. Soko, what's up, buddy? Gussie, how are you? Thanks for coming to the show tonight. I got hot cocoa. So no caffeine. Just the hot cocoa. I don't know how much sugar's in there. Tony's, what's up? You love the show. Well, for those of you who are not just getting here or don't understand, I have not seen any of your chat until just the last minute. So anything that you typed before, I did not see. If you said hello to me, I apologize. The chat was not running, but as you can see, what you see here is what I can see. All right? So the chat is up and running now. Chilling by the bonfire out here. Hey, Sokol, you wouldn't believe Richard Magnarelli. You wouldn't believe the fucking butt I grew this year, bro. You'd be so proud of me. Girl Scout cookies, bro. Unreal. Joel Froggy was saying hello. Sour D still needs to air out. Candy Kush, bro. Unbelievable candy smell. Oh, fuck. Needs to air out more. This is a purple strain, I believe. This is Girl Scout cookies. Plant number 4 and plant number 1 are the exact same thing, I believe. Plant number 5 is plant number 5. I can't quite tell what plant number 5 is. It's morphing a little bit. And then plant number 6 is wedding cake. Crazy wedding cake. Crazy. Like White Widow terps on it. White Widow freaking trichomes on it. Oh, Sokol, that sucks, bro. Ugh. Bitcoin 100,000. Yeah, well, you know, I haven't looked at it in the last few minutes. Let me just check the chart, and I'll tell you what I think, Patrick. Margie. Oh, thank you for not listening to music tonight. You know, you might learn something tonight. My mom is supposed to take care of the crop, but didn't cover them during the rainstorm and they snapped. Oh, God. It sucks, bro. You know? You can never let anybody watch your plants for you. No one will ever do it as good as you. No one. Even a better grower won't put in the time that you will. You can't ever leave a grow. What have you been up to? Growing. I can't leave my grow, as we're talking about. I'm basically just kind of stuck here. Why didn't Crypto... Oh, Crypto Watch did come up. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right. Wow, dude, it's about to hit 58. Are you fucking kidding me? It already got up to 58.5 today? And now it's kind of working its way down. It's at 57.9, guys. 57.995. 999 times. 992, 991, 986. Oh, man, maybe it'll go back up. That's fucking crazy. It was just peaking, bro. It was just peaking a few minutes ago, man. Oh, shit. Yeah, a couple hours ago, actually. It went up to 58, man. I should pull out $5,000 of fucking Bitcoin right now and put it in my fucking bank. You know? I grow at my house. Yeah, you know, if you don't grow at your house, you're just looking to get ripped off. You know? If you don't grow at your house, you're just waiting to get ripped off. Anybody I know that ever either Gorilla grew or grew somewhere else and they weren't living there on the premises, they got ripped off. They just wait for you to leave, man. That's all they got to do. Somebody wants to rip you off and they just watch you a day or two and they see you in and out, in and out. Dude, you know, a fucking ripper, better hope I never get my fucking hands on them. If I ever catch someone that rips plants, it's like, man, I hate you more than almost anything else that I hate on the whole planet. And I know I'm supposed to be a peaceful cannabis user, but, you know, when it comes to stealing somebody else's, all of my peacefulness goes away. Not that there was much there to begin with. And all I see is really bad stuff. Really bad stuff. You know, Michael Kennedy, what's up? How's it going? So, I got all these buds here, man. I'm thinking about that Candy Kush. I get so high when I smoke this shit, guys. It's like, it kind of ruins the show because I become non-functional. I don't know if I'm going to build up a tolerance to this stuff or not. It's just, you know, I like, for the show, I like to be able to smoke a lot. So, the less potent, it works for me. You know, if it's smooth and it's not as potent, I can smoke a lot of bong rips and blow a lot of smoke rings. You know, I get into like the 5th bong rip, man. And sometimes there won't be any more after that. It just, we'll see if I build up a tolerance to these strains. Because I never built up a tolerance to True Black. That one just became kind of worthless to me. I mean, if you're okay being a zombie all day, or you're just so amped up that you need that, you know, I can understand it. It'd work. That would definitely be the one I would recommend. Anyhow, I'm looking at Candy Kush right now. That's the one I'm looking at. I've got a nice cured bud here. It's all ready to go. This one already. My cat is already back. Are you back? Okay. Come on in, mister. Come on in. Hi. I know, but there is food for you, just so you know. There's food for you, buddy. So I was in the living room cleaning the living room today, man. I was in there dusting, and I did a really nice job. I got the computer all nice and lined up, and I got everything dusted on the shelves and everything put back in place, and it's nice and organized in that living room. It's really nice, man. You know, it's nice to have it all nice and clean. And I was just kind of thinking about, you know, I, I don't know if I shared the Andy Kaufman video that I was watching, but I watched an Andy Kaufman video when he appeared on David Letterman right after he had quit Taxi. And for those of you who are my age, you're going to remember when Andy Kaufman was wrestling women and he was just basically getting into a lot of trouble socially, you know, in the public's eye. And everyone thought he was just losing his mind, but he was basically just doing method comedy. He was doing experimental comedy. And dude, he did one of his bits on Letterman, and dude, it is awesome comedy, guys. I mean, if you understand the level of comedy, now I do this to y'all sometimes too, where I'm the only one that knows that there's a joke going on, and I won't ever give it up. You know, I'll turn off the fucking show, and you guys will just walk away not knowing. And as soon as the fucking show goes off, I'll just start chuckling, and I'll be like, that was fucked up. That was really fucked up. He takes that to a whole other level. And what he does on the Letterman show, it's fucking comedic genius. And Letterman gets it. And plays the straight guy perfectly. Understands exactly what Andrew and what he's doing. He understands where Kaufman's coming from, and he understands the bit, and he plays into it really well. I could probably show it to you. It's so old. I'm probably allowed to show it on YouTube. I don't know. It's old. It's copyrighted. No, probably not. But you guys could go watch it. Go watch Andy Kaufman on Letterman. And it's the one where he's wearing bright yellow pants. Okay? And if you, man, you need to go in understanding it's what's going on. It's, the whole thing is a fucking bit. But Dave Letterman's not really, supposedly, you know, it doesn't really seem like he's totally in on it, but he figures it out pretty quick. So worth watching. And for those of you who aren't going to go out of your way to go watch the bit, I'll tell you what the fuck it is, okay? So, he introduces him. He says he's from Taxi. You know, everybody knows who he is, famous comedian, all that. And he comes on the show, and he just kind of has this shell shock look. And everything that Letterman says to Andy Kaufman has an effect on his expression. You know, and he'll like smile really weird, and he'll do it really slow, like, and then he'll just go, and he does these very slow facial expressions while Dave's talking to him, and he doesn't say anything for like the first 3 minutes of the fucking interview. He doesn't say a goddamn word. He just stares at Letterman, and at one point, he looks like David Letterman says something to him and makes him kind of smile, and he's like getting all comfortable. And then Letterman says something else to him, and it's like Letterman said the most offensive thing ever to him. And he has this expression on his of shock and utter horror. And the audience is fucking loving it. They're fucking eating it up. And then Letterman says, so, you know, you could tell Letterman's kind of playing it like a little exasperated, just a little bit. It's like, so you said you wanted to do a bit. It's like, we got a stool for you over here. Everybody, are you ready to do it? And Andy Kaufman's like, yes, yes. And he goes, everybody, Andy Kaufman. And Andy Kaufman goes over. And he sits down on the stool. And he starts talking to the audience, and he's being funny by just saying what has happened to him in the last few months. And he gets to a point where he's telling the dialogue, you know, and the audience is chuckling, and he's getting serious. He starts talking about his wife, and that, you know, he stops, and he looks at the audience, and he goes, I know you guys think this is funny, but I really need for you guys to be serious right now because I'm not trying to be funny. And then he just keeps talking. And he says, so my wife got papers. She divorced me. She took the kids. She took all my money. Well, she didn't take all my money, but she took a lot of it. And so I moved to New York City, and I quit taxi, and I basically just go from show to show. He says, like I'm doing right now. He says, and I do interviews, and he just fucking stares at the audience, and he gives them this really long look, and he says, and if any of you want to help out at all financially, he said, you know, I really appreciate it. And somebody in the audience fucking threw a coin up on the stage, and he got up real slow, and he's looking for the coin, you know, kind of bumbling around. He finds it, he picks up, somebody throws another coin, and he starts scrambling, you know, to go get that, you know, like he's destitute, and he is desperate for money. And then he goes up, looks at the audience, and the cameras get behind him, and he walks out towards the audience, and he just puts his hands out like this. He's like, anything that you guys could give me, I greatly. And people start fucking pulling money out, and they start giving him money. And this guy, an usher, comes up and says, you got to come with me. He walks him out, and people are giving him money, and they're literally showing people, hand him money, and he's like, got money in his hands and shit. Dude. Andy Kaufman was one of the funniest people who ever fucking lived. He really was one of the funniest, and you guys should go watch that David Letterman interview. He's wearing yellow pants. And, you know, his ability to do that in front of, you know, an audience of 250 people, to play that and to stay in that until he walked out the fucking door, man. He stayed. They ushered him all the way out the door, and he was standing outside the door. And even when the door opened a couple times, you could see him standing there, and he was still acting all confused and shit, like counting his money and shit, acting all, you know, he was all disheveled, and bewildered, and dazed, and confused, and you know, like his wife had just divorced him and taken the kids, and taken the money, you know. Hey, King Leo 1000, what's up? I buy an Alien OG. Yo, that's good. Alien OG is great, man. Alien OG is great. I have one called Alien Overlord. Where are my nose hairs trimmers, man? Dude, I swear I need them so bad right now. I know if I just keep looking for them, I will find them. Yes. Yes. Check this out, guys. It's only gonna be a second. Whew, God, man, I hope that worked. The good old nose hair trimmer. So, I got this bowl packed, man. It's Candy Kush. It's insanity. It's insanity. Pure insanity. These need to breathe. These just have to breathe for a few hours and then be sealed back up again. Repeat tomorrow. Queen of Hearts, Purple Punch. I remember once I tried to squish Wet Bud and it didn't work. It just made a fucking mess. I'm so glad I remembered that. I'm like, yeah, that's right. That didn't work, did it? I wasted a whole bunch. Yeah, Candy Kush right here, Jake. I'm going to hit it right now. It is bottom of the hour, so perfect timing. No law regarding cannabis, everybody. Cannabis is for all. Cheers. We'll put this down here. Gotta leave that on. You guys, I'm going to be cutting my beard off soon. Yeah, I'm going to cut my beard off. I'm going to turn it into an NFT. I'm going to have it braided. I'm going to cut it off on the live stream and auction it off for charity. Ooh, that got me sweating pretty quick. Okay, so, what else is going on? I was watching H.A. Goodman tonight. He was putting on a great podcast, as usual. I asked him a great question. I said, do you think that Donald Trump meddled in the election when he tried to call Georgia? And he was like, I think Trump was trying to see if everything was legit. And I was like, no, he wasn't. It's funny, I fucking said, I was like, ha ha ha. I was like, sure, S-U-U-U-U-U-U-U-U-U-U-R-E. Sure he was. Like that. Watched some Jimmy Dore earlier. That was good. Let's watch this secular talk. I've never heard what Dave Chappelle said about the trans.
So Dave Chappelle,
the trans community,
is in some hot water again.
He's never in hot water.
A bunch of folks in the LGBTQ community are coming after him. They've gone after him for, I think, his past few specials. Now they're going after him for this one.
Whatever. Fuck them.
It was released by Netflix.
Fuck
Netflix
them.
is a big deal with Dave Chappelle, and Netflix has come out and defended Dave Chappelle over the criticism. So let's take a look at this sheet that we have here, and I'll run through it with everybody. Netflix suspends trans employee who tweeted about Dave Chappelle special. Internally, trans employees and allies are asking executives tough questions about the line between commentary and hate. So bear with me, I'm going to go through all this because it's all really important. Netflix has suspended a trans employee who tweeted about Dave Chappelle's comedy special, The Closer. In the stand-up set, which was released on October 5th, Chappelle doubles down on his jokes about the LGBTQ groups. The next day, Netflix software engineer Tara Field tweeted about Chappelle, writing that the comedian attacks the trans community and the very validity of transness in the special. So Tara Field said this: I work at Netflix. Yesterday we launched another Chappelle special where he attacks the trans community and the very validity of transness, all while trying to pit us against other marginalized groups. You're going to hear a lot of talk about offense. We are not offended. And then there's a long thread from there. The article continues. The tweet thread went viral, quickly spiraling into a conversation about free speech and cancel
culture.
Good for
Netflix.
Netflix then suspended Field, along with two other employees, for trying to attend a director-level meeting they weren't invited to.
Oops.
Another trans employee is quitting the company over how the special and Field's comments were handled.
Oh.
He added.
Oh, my bad. Oh, I thought she represented Netflix. My bad. No, fuck Netflix. My bad.
We don't allow titles on Netflix that are designed to incite hate or violence, and we don't believe the
fuck Netflix. My bad.
Line. I recognize,
I'm high,
that distinguishing between commentary and harm is hard, especially with stand-up comedy, which which exists to push boundaries. Some people find the art of stand-up to be mean-spirited, but our members enjoy it, and it's an important part of our content offering. The Trans Employee Resource Group at Netflix has been meeting with executives for years to try and educate them about the impact of transphobic content, according to a current employee. When Netflix bought the movie Girl, about a 15-year-old ballet dancer preparing for gender confirmation surgery, it sparked multiple internal conversations about cisgender directors creating content about trans people. Sarandos said that the company's commitment to inclusion is reflected in
Fuck
titles
Netflix,
like
right, Sokol?
Sex Education and Disclosure, a documentary about Hollywood's impact on the trans community. But one current employee tells The Verge they were not swayed by the statement. You can't do a carbon offset for bigotry, they said dryly. Disclosure director Sam Feder also tweeted that Netflix rented the documentary for half of what it cost to make it. Okay, so I just wanted to give you basically the entire article, or the overwhelming majority of the article, because I wanted you to get a sense of not just what the headlines say, but what the actual substance is, and the different layers of complexity involved in this conversation. So, what's my overall takeaway? Well, up front, I think there are two very simple, straightforward conclusions that I haven't really heard anybody else echo. The first question is about the trans employee who was fired as a result of the subsequent actions after the special was released. If I was Netflix, would I have fired that employee? Now, I don't have all the information in the world. I don't have all the context. I don't know everything about that employee, so I'm doing this on limited information. So I want to let everybody know that up front. But given what was explained in the article, at the very least, no, I would not have fired her. So
Me neither.
she didn't like the fact that they released the special, and she did a long tweet thread about it, and it went viral. And then they say the reason they fired her was actually because she tried to go to a director-level meeting that she wasn't allowed to go to. And again, I don't know the details or the specifics of that. I don't know if she was boisterous and refusing to leave or whatever. But even if I grant you that that's the case, I don't think I would have fired her. I think I would have done my best to avoid effectively canceling anybody in this entire conversation. So, on the one hand, I definitely wouldn't have fired the trans employee unless I'm missing a massive piece of context that hasn't been elaborated on. But at the same time, would I have pulled down the Dave Chappelle special or not allow it to add? Hell no. Hell no. So listen, you're allowed to disagree with Dave Chappelle, not like Dave Chappelle, think he's mean. You're even allowed to think he's bigoted and transphobic. What you're most definitely not allowed to do is say, since I don't like it, nobody's allowed to see it, pull it down. Now, you could turn around and say, well, Kyle, hold on now, you're not trans, so who are you to talk about those issues?
We can talk about any issue we want. Anyone could talk about any fucking issue they want, no matter who they are.
Think about it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard.
Some of the best pieces of art have wildly racist and bigoted and controversial and homophobic things in it. And I'm not breaking news here to anybody. It's almost universally acknowledged, for example, that The Sopranos is one of the best TV shows of all time. Now, go back and watch it. There are insanely racist moments in it. Like jaw-dropping racist moments in it where Tony's throwing around the N-word and saying they got no work ethic and us Italians have the amazing work ethic. Hey, what do you know? Look at Mama Spaghetti. And so if some African-American rights groups came out and said, well, pull it down because we don't like it, would everybody be like, oh, yeah, we have to defer always to anybody who makes a complaint? No! Again, you're allowed to dislike
Seymour,
it.
what's
You're allowed
up?
to hate it. You're allowed to write a 1,000-word article explaining why you think it's the devil. What you're not allowed to do is say nobody else is allowed to enjoy it because I don't like it. Some very classic movies, like the core of it is very controversial, very outdated.
I'm
very bigoted stuff.
AJF.
See, what people need to understand is, in the realm of art, it gets a total pass. Now, listen.
Yes,
there are
it
certain
does. It's
caveats,
fucking
and
art.
asterisks.
It's comedy.
Like, if the whole intent, if the whole purpose is, I'm going to be a bigoted asshole, and there is no, artistic level to it, well, then that's different. So, in other words, if Netflix released a special entitled The KKK Was Right,
Well, no.
something like that, well, that's totally different, because
No, there's that guy, I can't think of his fucking name. He's a kind of a country folksy singer, and he just sings racist fucking garbage. He's a fucking piece of shit. But it's art, and he can basically sing about whatever the fuck he wants, man. You know.
Intent is not artistic. The intent is let's be giant assholes. And in that instance, I'd say, yeah, I see why you wouldn't want that up there. You wouldn't want some neo-Nazi.
I mean, think about fucking South Park. You know, so think about the content on South Park. Ted Nugent sings about, you know, beating on women. That's what Stranglehold is. The song Stranglehold is about choking out your girlfriend because she walked out on you. It's a sick song. You know, there's a few. Yeah.
You know, giving a speech to rile people up or what. Like, I get that. But if the intent is artistic, no matter how clunky or bad or wrong you think it is, you
art.
gotta leave it up.
Yeah, it's art.
Jokes get a full pass, movies get a
He's
full
right.
pass.
I
music
agree
gets a
with
full
him
pass.
on this.
I mean, it's amazing to me that I have to even say these things. Now, I want to be fair and I want to be clear.
It's no longer the case.
Plenty of,
Look, Kyle Kalinske says this, guys, and it no longer matters because that is not the way it is anymore. There's so much material, art, information, education, just podcasting type stuff, whatever, that is completely hidden from the public view.
trans people who are saying, no, I'm not saying Netflix should pull it down. I'm not saying that at all. But here are my criticisms of the Chappelle special. Now, to those people, I say, wonderful. That's great. And by the way, I might agree with some of those criticisms. Now, I'm biased. I happen to love Dave Chappelle. Chappelle Show was classic. I think he's one of the greatest comedians of all time.
He is.
So I am biased. But having said that,
he is the greatest comedian
I watched this special. Not his best work. You know, the problem to me is, first of all, is like his second, third, or third special where he's like obsessed with this issue.
Right.
And the other thing
look.
It's,
Kyle Kalinske makes a great point. Dave Chappelle does talk about the LGBTQ community at length. He makes a lot of jokes about them, and there's no need for it. And who knows what his intent is for doing that, or if it is really just him running out of things to talk about, and it's the only thing he thinks is funny now. But whatever it is, you know, do you want to judge Dave Chappelle by the content? He's making you fucking laugh. Now, he says not his best stuff. Dave Chappelle has put out some fantastic shit. That's a very high bar to meet. So, you know, he doesn't have to put out his best shit. He's working. He's a comic. And if he's lost the spark, no big deal. You know, Kyle Kalinske lost his spark a long time ago, too. I mean, look at his fucking Forrest Gump haircut. What the fuck is he doing? What an idiot, man. Is that what fucking, is that how Crystal tells you to cut your hair because she told fucking dipshit Sagar to do the same fucking thing?
Like, it's getting preachy now. That's for comedy, and comedians will tell you this, the comedy has to come first. Being funny has to come first. Any other underlying political point or whatever has to come second. And Chappelle's sort of flipping it a little bit. Now, there were funny moments in the special, of course, where I was laughing, but a lot of it I'm just watching going, it's a little preachy. It's a little like he's clearly obsessed with this and caught on this issue and can't get over the criticism. Dave, don't read the criticisms, man. I know what it's like when you're even a minor public figure and you see
No. You don't know what it's like to be Dave Chappelle. Don't act like you know what it's like to be Dave Chappelle, because you don't know what it's like. Okay? You're a fucking piece of shit for even saying that.
You start losing your mind. Just don't read the criticisms. So I do have criticisms of the special. I do think it was too preachy. It's definitely not his best work. However, having said that,
you enjoyed it?
You got to keep it up. You got to allow people to watch it. You got to allow people to come away with different opinions. And again, to the people in the trans community who criticized him and said, hey, here's where you're wrong, a lot of the arguments are like, your jokes are just stale at this point. Like, we've heard these same trans jokes repackaged 4 or 5 times over. Like, we got it. Next, come up with some new material. Just give me not shitty material. If that's your criticism, totally fine. Again, the only area where I draw the line is don't tell people, well, you got to pull it down because I don't like it, or that person's feelings are hurt, or it's bigotry, or whatever it might be. So, I think I've seen...
have any of you seen the Dave Chappelle special? Because I have not. Let me know if you've seen the new Dave Chappelle special that everybody's talking about.
A decent amount of commentary on this. I've read a decent number of articles on this. I haven't heard anybody say what I just said. Don't fire the trans employee, because that would effectively be canceling her, based on the facts that we have, to be clear. But also, no, don't pull down the Dave Chappelle special. I wouldn't pull it down at all. And, you know, when you're making jokes about marginalized communities, you do have to come correct. You know what I mean? Because I get why there's this knee-jerk reaction of like, well, fuck you. Because, yeah, trans people have it rough, man. I mean, it's like gayness is largely more or less accepted in the U.S. now, but when it comes to trans issues, you do get the sense that there hasn't really caught up yet where everybody accepts it, acknowledges it, understands it. And so, like, for example, we don't have anti-discrimination protections for trans people on the books. So, in theory, a business could fire somebody and just say, I'm uncomfortable with you because you're trans, so I'm going to fire you because you're trans. And that'd be totally legal.
Wow.
So there's an area where, like, they have a rough go of it. And I'm sure there are a lot of businesses that won't hire people because they're trans and they don't understand it and they think it's weird, and so they think, maybe that'll affect their work ethic or whatever. So they have the community is facing real issues, and those real issues need to be addressed and need to be solved. I would pass anti-discrimination protections today for the trans community. So I'm in favor of trans rights across the board. What I'm not in favor of is authoritarian attempts to pull down art because art can be offensive or controversial or bigoted or wrong or whatever. Full pass when it comes to artistic stuff, even if it's like...
Quarter of the hour, no longer going to get him.
Cannabis
Just throw it. Cheers, everybody.
That wasn't the case with Chappelle.
Smoke along with me, people. Smoke along with me, people.
He certainly doesn't view himself as a transphobe, and he's trying to, like, explain himself desperately. I've been there, man. Again, when you're a public figure and you get criticism and you think it's unfair, you sort of, like, can get obsessed with it, and that's clearly what happened to Dave Chappelle. So I just hope that the thing stays up, the special stays up. I hope Netflix hires back the trans person who was fired, and I hope that maybe we get some new and fresh material that's not as questionable as this one is.
Is AJ Goodman still live right now? What? He's got 400 people watching him. Oh no, it's... See? Some engineer said he was live. He's not live. It's already done.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about tonight. The National Security Advisor, Biden's National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, might have lied under oath. He might have given testimony that was false, deliberately false, intentionally misleading. Two investigators to Congress. He was all over the place publicizing the Alpha Bank fake news story. And he also testified under oath that he had no knowledge of it. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Hit subscribe to this channel right this second. Ladies and gentlemen, we're close to 185,000 subs. I need your help.
God,
tell your friends.
He can't get past 184,000, man. NASA mission will crash craft to redirect asteroid. Huh.
What is this thing?
It's an asteroid, sir.
It plays just like a scene out of a disaster movie. NASA's latest mission plans to send a small spacecraft on a collision course with an asteroid.
Asteroids have been hitting the Earth for billions of years. That's not new. What's exciting and new here is that we're actually taking the first steps to be able to prevent that potentially in the future. And that's where DART comes in.
NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART for short, is a first-of-its-kind test of planetary defense. The mission is scheduled to launch in November, putting the spacecraft on a collision course with an asteroid in September or October of next year.
It'll come speeding in 15,000 miles per hour to hit this smaller asteroid.
This is just a test. The asteroid in question is not on a collision course with Earth, just close enough that when the spacecraft actually hits it, a small change in its orbit could actually be observed from Earth.
It really is just a small nudge. The key behind this is deflection, not disruption. We're absolutely not trying to disrupt this asteroid. We're just giving it a small nudge to change its future path.
A small nudge like this could be enough to redirect a similar-sized asteroid from a collision course with Earth. But this mission is really just a first step.
So DART is one part of NASA's larger planetary defense strategy. And it's not just all about deflecting asteroids. A really important part is finding all of the asteroids and tracking where they are.
Tom Costello joins us now. Tom, this is just so fascinating, but the asteroid is relatively small. I think it's only about 160 meters in diameter. So how does NASA plan on hitting such a small target with their spacecraft?